Scientists have identified the cause of climate change in Europe. Part of the scientific community see the reason for climate change in a change in the flow of the so-called atmospheric rivers. They're very stable streams of air that carry water over enormous distances. Something in the world has changed and the rivers have altered their direction, starting to flow in the wrong direction. The summer of last year in Europe, 2022, as well as in the world in general, faced an unprecedented heat wave. Temperature records were recorded in the UK, Belgium, and the Netherlands. As a result, the Rhine River became shallow in Rotterdam. And in Spain, reservoirs reserves have fallen by up to 40%, El País reports. The Danube River, the most important artery for transporting grain, is also experiencing a drought. In France, 93 out of the 96 departments have introduced water restrictions. In some regions, residents are prohibited from watering lawns and washing their cars. Wild heat is a good incentive, so French scientists are very close to the advanced scientific discovery, which is as follows. On the border between the cold air of the subpolar latitudes and the hot air of the tropics, there is a kind of a river, an air river, well known to climatologists, constant winds blowing at altitudes of 10 to 15 kilometers and enveloping the Earth in a circle. And so, as it turned out, the jet stream running over the Atlantic towards Europe, for some reason, began to break up over the Azores, giving rise to two streams, and a hot spot of air is formed over Western Europe. Well, I'm sitting in Athens, Greece, and I could see that's in about the 6 o'clock position down there, just left of the A in the blue circle, where it says Branche de Jet Méridionale, and we're having rains every day. Tomorrow or the day after, we're expecting a thunder shower. And the rains have not stopped. Usually we say the clouds, the sky closes up around the beginning of May, and we don't have rains again until September. Okay, so that's very unusual weather that we're having here in Greece because it's raining every few days. Basically, it's like Florida weather, where Florida, we have a 15-minute shower every afternoon at around 6 to 6:30. So what's happening? This is really strange. The jet stream is splitting into two, and Europe is covered by a hot spot, very hot. Très chaud means very hot. To explain the phenomenon, scientists blamed global warming for everything. It became warmer at the poles. The temperature contrast with the air of the subtropics became smaller, and therefore the wind died down, breaking up into whirlwinds. The explanation, of course, is not accepted by conspiracy theorists, as they have a somewhat different viewpoint. When we talk about atmospheric rivers, we need to imagine a global field landscape of the planet, which we cannot see with our eyes, but it definitely exists. These are depressions and bulges of gravity, unevenly distributed over the planet, deformations of the ionic arrays of the atmosphere, which are determined by changes in magnetic fields and so on. It's these structures that determine the channels of atmospheric currents. Therefore, since the Atlantic jet stream broke up, it means that some kind of field breakwater appears in the Azores region, which divides the air into two. How strange is that? But what was this wave? What is this wave? What is its nature? With the nature of field education, it's already more difficult, and so for far two options seem to be the most logical. A, if you look at the map, then the center of their heat spot is CERN. Therefore, one can think that some kind of field jet is hitting into space from CERN, just like jets are fired from a black hole in the center of the galaxy. So, isn't that something? Naturally, air masses try to bend around this structure, giving a splitting of the flow. And B, the second version of the breakwater is practically the same. It only transfers a hypothetical jet from CERN to the Azores region, under which some kind of epic volcanic activity has been brewing for a long time. We know the Azores has a mantle plume. At one point it was a supervolcano. According to one of the couple of months ago, a video I made on that. Now, in the Azores region, the Azores, we know it's on the transatlantic, trench, the Atlantic Trench. Now, the Azores region, a tentacle is extended from the mantle, similar to the mantle plume, but not 500 kilometers in diameter, but like a small continent. Naturally, there are some magnetic, gravitational, and other fields above this superstructure, which the air goes around. Which of the theories is more correct, we don't know, but what we know for sure is that scientists need to think about the field structure that splits the atmospheric river in half. Whatever lies in its island, CERN, a supervolcano, or the machinations of aliens, or anything else, if the structure continues to grow, gain density and power, it can end very sadly, and most importantly, unexpectedly, meaning the jet stream can end unexpectedly. And that's terrible, because it means that Europe would become frozen. Now, this is from Solask. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.